Movement is a critical part of Rocket League, as it determines not only where you go on the field, but how you get there. So today we are covering the 3 keys that will help you master movements in Rocket League. When players think about moving quickly around the field, a lot of people will envision boosting, going supersonic everywhere as they travel around the field. The truth of the matter is that this is one of the worst things that you can do. First of all, because you're moving so quickly, your car is naturally harder to control. This means that it is more difficult to get the precision touches you need. It also means we give ourselves less time to react to what's happening on the field. If we're going as fast as humanly possible and the ball pops out suddenly in a random direction, well, now we just don't have the time to react to it because we are flying right on by. If you watch high-level gameplay, what you will see is players only using boost and flipping around the field when they actually need to move from point A to point B quickly. So this will bring us into point number 2, keeping your wheels on the ground. There's 2 areas that this is important. Number 1, when going for aerials, we want to wait to go for them for as long as we can. Reason being, the further back from the ball that we jump, the more time the defense has to read what we're doing and position themselves accordingly. If we keep our wheels on the ground, we keep all of our options open. If an opponent jumps before us and beats us to the ball, now we're still in a position where we can turn around and play defense. Meanwhile, if we had jumped ages ago and we're flying through the air and our opponent jumped up and beat us cleanly to the ball, now we're floating and out of the play for a long time. Number 2 is when using our flips. You really want to consider that a flip is a resource. Every time you use it, you have committed yourself to do something. You are telegraphing to everyone on the field that for the next 2 seconds, I am going from this point to this point, and there's no way I can change my mind. This means that if there were an unexpected development in the play, you are now unable to react to it as you have already committed to something prior. By keeping your wheels firmly planted on the ground, you can adjust to whatever happens in the play as soon as you possibly can, without any amount of time going by for a flip animation to finish. A solid example of this is whenever anyone on the field is going to get a touch on the ball. That is the worst time to go for a flip. You're never quite sure where a ball is going to go off of a player's touch. You can kind of angle your car in a certain direction thinking it's going to go that way, and if you're wrong, you can simply turn back around and not be out of position. But if you have already committed to the left, thinking the ball is going to go over that way, and you flip in that direction, and now all of a sudden the ball is going to your right, well, now you're in a bit of a pickle as you've taken your wheels off the ground and will take an extra 2 to 3 seconds to actually get to where you need to be. So again, keeping your wheels on the ground allows you to cover as many options as possible and not get caught out by unexpected developments in the play. The last area of movement is facing the direction you need to be able to make a play. This means either facing the ball so you're able to make a challenge, or facing your net when you're playing shadow defense, so you're able to make a play as soon as you want to. There is nothing worse than a perfect ball popping across in the midfield and a perfect shot being set up, except for the fact that you are currently facing your own net instead of facing the play. These 3 things combined will keep you much more relevant in the game at all times, and enable you to move around the field with confidence and make plays on the ball when you need to. Let's take a look at a couple of examples of these principles in practice, and we'll see how this all works. So we're going to start out by taking a look at this play right here. Now, as you can see, we're kind of level with the ball right here, and we're sitting on 0 boost. We've just come off a kickoff and we've challenged the ball in the midfield. So now in this instance, a lot of players would go, okay, 0 boost, I don't really have any say in this ball immediately, so they might, wheel around this way, maybe go look for the mid boost over here. They'd be flipping in some direction to try to get boost and then get back in the play. However, what we want to consider is, okay, number 1, we want to keep our wheels on the ground at all times. Is there any reason we need to get somewhere quickly right now? Absolutely not. So we can go ahead and keep our wheels on the ground. Not a problem, don't need to flip anywhere. With keeping our wheels on the ground, it also allows us to take this slow. We don't want to rush in any direction. We want to wait to see what happens here and then make our decisions. So what can we do in the meantime? Well, we clearly don't want to stay on 0 boost. That's not good for anyone. So hey, maybe we'll go ahead and just drive our way around path to like this boost pad, back to this boost pad, all the while keeping our eyes on the ball to see where it develops. And as we're driving back this way, should a ball be pinched back into our own half from a challenge that looks like is coming out between Ostrich and Tactical here, then we can just go ahead and keep driving on back. However, if for whatever reason Ostrich wins this challenge back into their half, well, from this point we can just wheel around back into the play. We've gotten 24 boost, which is quite a bit to do whatever we really would want on the offensive end in terms of taking a clean shot, and we're not out of the play at all. So let's go ahead and see here. We're going to pick up one moose pad. Turns out it was actually Cripple to fly in for this challenge. Ostrich does win it. Ball's just kind of floating in the midfield, so again, we're going to take our time to sit calmly. We're facing the direction that we need to be able to make a play, but we're still in such a position that should the ball pop somewhere else unexpectedly, we would have no problem turning in another direction to go a different way. So we'll see that Ostrich is going to pop this ball out. And now looking at the situation, well, we see that no orange player is going to be able to get up to challenge this ball. So this is a free ball, uncontested. We can pick up one more boost pad as we jump, taking our wheels off the ground as soon as we decide, okay, yep, this is a ball we need to go for, we need to go quickly. Gonna expend our resources to pop up here, and we slot that ball right into the net. So there was a perfect example of facing the play, keeping our wheels on the ground, and taking things slow, not rushing into any random decision, and it pays off there with a goal. Now looking at another example here, we can see we have plenty of boost to work with in this situation, and there seems to be a bit of lack of control between Cripple here and the ball, so we're going to be able to rush on in for this. We do notice that our teammate is also pushing forward to grab this boost, so this is a little bit of a dangerous challenge, but because we have so much boost, we should be able to put it in the challenge and get back should we need to, should the challenge go awry. So we go ahead and push in here again, wheels on the ground the whole time. We put in the challenge, we actually don't even flip into it. I think we thought maybe we might get a free touch there or a chip over the top of him. Doesn't quite happen, we get bumped off to the side. And now you'll notice that we're immediately facing backwards here because the most likely scenario is that one of the orange players gets a clear out, so we want to be prepared to defend this ball as it comes looping back this way. But we're not flipping in this direction, we're using a little bit of boost, sure, but no flip in this direction so that if anything unexpected here happens, we can easily wheel back around and be back involved in the play. We don't need boost or anything, so there's no reason for us to flip on out of here. So we'll see that Ostrich actually does cut over in front of this and keep the ball fairly neutral. So now we're going to play this kind of sideways position, because we're 50-50 on whether or not we're going to need to stay involved in this play or if we're going to need to go back. We see that Orange is going to have the next touch, so okay, maybe play a bit more passive. Ostrich coming back in, and now we see a 50-50 coming out. And with our current position, we're in a great spot. Because should this ball pop into the midfield, well, we can just go ahead and challenge it. Should it pop back down the wall, that's not a problem. We'll just go ahead and turn around and be ready to catch it along the wall. Should it pinch all the way across, that's not a problem either, as we can push our way over that way, and we're in a position to do all three without any major trouble. So you can see how this positioning and the movement we've used to get here puts us in a spot to succeed in this play. So this 50-50 comes through, the ball pops out, and now you'll notice the important thing, we're going to keep our wheels on the ground until the precise moment we want to jump up to be able to shoot this ball. We pop up, we put the shot on, there's no wasted time in the air, and the ball is in the net. And one last example here, our teammate has just gotten a challenge and this ball is looping into our opponent's half. We'll see that both of our opponents aren't really super set on defense here as they've just gotten challenged out. We're just kind of going to cruise our way down the field. We don't need to rush in any direction here. We don't really know what's going to develop with this play. Not sure if an orange player is going to have a touch or if maybe Ostrich is going to be able to stay on. So instead, we're just going to kind of sit back and wait to see what happens. We're also protecting a 2-goal lead here, so there's no reason to rush into anything drastic. So we see Tactical goes ahead and gets a miss. We could dive in right here, but the problem is if we jump in right here, we're really not giving our team all that much of an advantage. Our teammate's stuck in the corner. If we just go ahead and challenge this ball, the best case scenario is that it pinches towards the net or maybe into the opposite corner, or worst case scenario, we just pinch it straight back out and now it's a free counterattack. So we're going to remain patient and take things slow right here in the midfield. Still wait to see what happens. We don't want to make any drastic decisions. Based on what we see Tactical is kind of facing the ball, so we're kind of thinking he might have the next touch. So we're going to start to turn this way, but again, Critical, we're not going to boost or move quickly in that direction, because we don't know for sure if Tactical is going to have the next touch, and there's no reason for us to be over here quickly, even if he does. So we're going to go ahead and play this patient. We turn to the left. Okay, now we see that Cripple is having the touch, and as we can see by the trajectory of the ball, we will indeed be making that turn over to the side. Now the ball is traveling with some velocity here, so we're going to use a bit of boost and a flip to catch up to it. And now we're paying attention to this bounce as it pops up, and we'll notice, oh hey look, Cripple decided to go back for this boost, so now he is not able to challenge this ball as it comes back across. So we can easily turn up for this and be in position to go ahead and shoot this ball once again. Wheels on the ground as we come across. We slow down, wait to see where this is going, jump when we need to, air roll the car, put the ball into the net, and yet again, the idea of facing where we need to make a play, keeping our wheels on the ground, and taking things slow and methodical nets us a 5th goal in this game, and that was the end of it. So as you can see, the quality of your movement directly coincides with the quality of your gameplay. The better your movement is, the better your play is on the field as a whole. So as you're moving about the field, just try to eliminate unnecessary things. Unnecessary flips, unnecessary early jumps, and unnecessary turns to directions you really don't need to be facing. You want to be as useful as possible on the field, and you never want to be the person that makes yourself useless. Mastering movement can guarantee that you can be as useful as possible at all times. If you guys enjoy content like this, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button right down below this video so you don't miss any future coaching or Rocket League tip content. And if you'd like to be more involved in this community as a whole, make sure you also join my Discord link down in the description below. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.